The coffee cup slipped from Noah Carter's trembling hand the moment he stepped into the quiet restaurant. It shattered across the polished floor, drawing every eye toward him, but he barely noticed. His heart stopped for a completely different reason. The woman already sitting at the table where his blind date was supposed to happen wasn't his friend's sister. It was his boss. The same powerful CEO who had spent the last 2 years believing he had no room in his life for anything except work. The same woman who had unknowingly become the reason he smiled during impossible days. And judging by the stunned expression on her face, she was just as shocked to see him standing there. Before we continue this emotional journey, if you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Vault. Your support helps us bring more heart-touching stories to people around the world. Noah Carter had never imagined that life would become so quiet at only 34 years old. 5 years earlier, he had lost his wife during a sudden illness, leaving him to raise their 6-year-old daughter, Ava, alone. Every sunrise became another promise to survive for his little girl. Every evening became another battle against loneliness after Ava had fallen asleep. He worked as the operations manager for one of the city's fastest-growing architectural firms, where every project carried impossible deadlines and enormous expectations. Despite his remarkable dedication, Noah rarely spoke about his personal life. His co-workers only knew that he always left exactly at 5:30 every afternoon because someone much more important than business meetings was waiting for him at home. His boss, Victoria Sinclair, was respected throughout the industry. She had inherited the company after her father's retirement and transformed it into one of the most successful firms in the region. Newspapers called her fearless. Competitors described her as unstoppable. Employees admired her intelligence but often feared her quiet professionalism. Very few people knew that behind the expensive suits and confident smile lived a woman carrying invisible wounds. Her engagement had ended only weeks before her wedding after discovering years of betrayal. Since then, Victoria had convinced herself that work was safer than love, and achievements were easier than relationships. Although Noah and Victoria worked together almost every day, their conversations rarely extended beyond project updates and business decisions. Still, Victoria quietly admired something about him she couldn't explain. He never complained, never sought attention, and somehow remained patient even under crushing pressure. She often noticed him smiling whenever his phone displayed a picture of his daughter. That simple smile looked more genuine than anything she had seen in years. Meanwhile, Noah's closest friend at work, Rachel Morgan, had grown tired of watching him spend every weekend either grocery shopping or helping Ava with school projects. She believed Noah deserved happiness again. Without revealing many details, Rachel convinced both Noah and her older sister to agree to a casual lunch meeting at a peaceful downtown cafe. She imagined introducing two lonely people who might discover hope together. Unfortunately, Rachel made one enormous mistake. Her sister had cancelled only an hour before lunch because of a family emergency. Knowing Victoria happened to be having lunch at the same restaurant after meeting a client, Rachel desperately texted her boss, asking whether she could sit at the reserved table for a few minutes until she arrived to explain everything. Victoria agreed without understanding the situation. Then Noah walked through the door. The silence that followed felt endless. Rachel arrived moments later, horrified by what had happened. Her face turned completely pale as she realized her messages had created the most awkward misunderstanding imaginable. She apologized repeatedly while explaining the confusion, but neither Noah nor Victoria seemed interested in blaming anyone. Instead, they found themselves laughing at the unbelievable coincidence. That unexpected laughter broke years of emotional distance. Since they were already sitting together and lunch had been ordered, Victoria suggested finishing the meal rather than wasting perfectly good food. Noah hesitated, worried about professional boundaries, but finally agreed. For the first time, they spoke as ordinary people instead of employee and employer. Victoria discovered Noah's life revolved entirely around Ava. Every school recital, every doctor's appointment, Every bedtime story mattered more than promotions or overtime. Noah admitted he often felt guilty because no matter how hard he tried, he feared his daughter deserved more than a tired father doing his best. Victoria quietly listened. She recognized something she had been missing her entire life. Purpose. Noah, in return, learned that Victoria wasn't the cold executive everyone imagined. She volunteered anonymously at children's literacy programs every Saturday morning. She secretly funded scholarships for struggling students. She avoided publicity because she believed kindness lost its meaning when it became marketing. Their lunch stretched far beyond an hour. Neither noticed. When they finally left the restaurant, they carried something neither expected. Curiosity. Over the following weeks, work remained professional, but subtle changes appeared. Victoria no longer judged employees only by productivity. Noah became more confident sharing ideas during leadership meetings. Their mutual respect continued growing naturally. One afternoon, disaster struck. A major client unexpectedly canceled a multi-million-dollar contract after false rumors spread online accusing the company of using unsafe construction materials. Investors panicked. Social media exploded with criticism. Employees feared layoffs. Victoria barely slept for days. She blamed herself. While executives argued over public relations strategies, Noah quietly investigated the accusations. Using years of operational records, supplier documents, inspection reports, and delivery logs, he uncovered evidence proving the rumors had been created by a rival company attempting to destroy their reputation before a major government bid. Instead of seeking recognition, Noah simply handed Victoria a complete file. His evidence saved the company. Legal authorities launched an investigation, the truth became public, and the firm's reputation recovered stronger than before. Victoria realized something important. Success had never depended only on brilliant leadership. It depended on trustworthy people. That evening, instead of celebrating with investors, Victoria attended Ava's elementary school art exhibition after Noah casually mentioned it during work. She quietly walked through colorful classrooms filled with paintings and handmade crafts until she reached one picture that stopped her completely. Ava had painted her family. The drawing showed 3 people. Noah, Ava, and an unfamiliar woman standing beside them beneath bright sunshine. When Noah gently asked who the third person was, Ava simply smiled and said she had painted the person who would help her daddy smile every day again someday. Victoria felt tears forming before she even realized why. Children often saw hope adults had forgotten existed. Months passed. Their friendship slowly grew beyond office walls. Victoria joined Noah and Ava at community festivals. Noah helped Victoria reconnect with simple joys she had abandoned years earlier, like weekend farmers markets and afternoon picnics. Neither rushed anything. Both had experienced enough heartbreak to understand real relationships grow quietly. Eventually, office gossip became impossible to ignore. Employees whispered endlessly about their growing friendship. Some assumed favoritism. Others predicted disaster. Instead of hiding, Noah requested a meeting with the company's board. He voluntarily offered to transfer into another division if necessary so no employee would ever question Victoria's integrity. His honesty shocked everyone. Victoria refused to lose one of her best leaders simply because people enjoyed rumors. Instead, she established transparent reporting structures ensuring Noah no longer reported directly to her. Professional ethics remained intact. Respect remained untouched. Months later, after every policy had been carefully implemented, they finally allowed themselves to explore the possibility neither wanted to admit had existed since that unforgettable lunch. Love arrived quietly. Not through grand speeches. Not through dramatic confessions. But through ordinary moments. Helping Ava build a science project. Cooking dinner together. Walking through the park on sunny afternoons. Supporting one another during difficult days. The greatest surprise came on Father's Day. Ava presented Noah with a handmade scrapbook filled with photographs from the previous year. The final page contained one sentence written carefully in colorful crayons. "Daddy, thank you for finding your smile again." Noah cried openly. Victoria cried beside him. Neither attempted hiding their tears. Sometimes healing isn't loud. Sometimes it's simply realizing someone stayed. Years after that unforgettable blind date, people occasionally asked how they had first met. They always smiled. The story sounded too unbelievable to invent. A blind date that never happened became the beginning of a family neither expected. Rachel often joked that her greatest mistake became the greatest blessing. Maybe she was right. Because life rarely follows perfect plans. Sometimes cancelled appointments become answered prayers. Sometimes the wrong person at the table turns out to be exactly the right person for your future. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Vault so we can continue sharing inspiring stories that remind us kindness still exists in this world. Special request: before this story ends, please comment, "Kindness always finds a way, red heart," if you believe unexpected moments can completely change someone's life. As Noah, Victoria, and little Ava watched another bright afternoon fade into a peaceful sunset, they finally understood that happiness rarely arrives according to our schedules. It often appears disguised as inconvenience, confusion, or even embarrassment. The table meant for strangers became the place where two broken hearts discovered hope again. Their journey reminded everyone around them that love does not always knock on the right door at the right time. Sometimes it quietly waits at the wrong table until we are finally ready to sit down, smile, and give life one more chance.